isn't it? So this is simply 300 into 500 because per meter square it is 300, but the area of the shops will be 500. And similarly, for the office, it will be 150 into 900. So we need to calculate the gross income. GDV now, gross development value. So this is annual income is this much. So gross income. Gross income is, say, here the rate of return is given. 12% profit on the development. Freehold site is available for this one. Site works are estimated to cost 15,000. The rate of return is similar. Development is around 11%. So annually, it is the similar development is.
Excuse me, madam.
Yeah.
A small clarification.
Sure.
The floor area of shops, is it 6 times of the floor area given?
6 times? No, like it's
6 lock-up shops with 2 floors of offices.
Yeah, but it's just given as a total area, no? It's not necessarily to be equal size, no?
Okay, then 900, so 500 square meters means total area of all the shops. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, right, ma'am.
And so then a developer requires, sorry, the rate of return. So here it's here, the rate of return in this area for similar development is around 7%, right? So 7%, if it is giving at perpetuity, so then the total income for this will be net annual income into years purchase. Okay, so the years purchase will be 1/I, and so accordingly it will be 1/7%. Okay, so then the gross income will be, so 1 rupee for 1 rupee receivable. For that, the annuities, the total will be at the perpetuity 14,286. So 15,000. So that is right. So this will be the gross income from the shops. And similarly for this, we can calculate the year's purchase as 1/I. So the same 1/I will be there, 7% more. Mixed development of this kind only. So we can get the gross income from the office as Okay, so that is coming as the 4 million something. So the GDP. Right? So we need to calculate now all the development cost. Right. So in the development cost, first is site cost. So it's given right. So important thing is finance charge. Everything we are taking, purchasing through the uh, borrowed finance, right? So therefore we need to calculate the charge, finance charge for each and every cost, right? So the first cost is site cost. So there is site work 15,000. So altogether it's 145,000. So for that, how long the development period? Uh, the contract period is likely to be 1 year and the finance is available 11%, right? So therefore, we'll assume that it's the development, the income will come after 1 year. So for that, until we get the income, we will not be able to pay the set of the loan. So therefore, we will have to pay the interest charge, finance charge, right? So therefore, we have to calculate the 1 year interest rate for the 145,000. Okay, right. So the rate is 11%. Okay. This is the total amount into 1 plus I is 11%. No? To the power 1 here, right? From that, again, principal amount we deduct. Right. Okay. So this is the finance chart. So altogether, related to purchasing the land, it will be right. And building cost, we are not calculating now because that is a question. And the finance cost, building cost, professional charges, they are all with the building cost. So we don't know the building cost. So therefore, we can't assume the calculate the professional charges, professional fees, and also the finance cost, right? So we'll do all that later. So developers profit. It's just there, so 12%, right? 12% on the development value. So development value, we have already calculated this, and 12% of that you want as the developer's profit. Okay, so that is also calculated. And there is another one, you see, mm, developer requires 12%. That is done. And then this is done, this is done. The contract period, that also we have taken. And then there is legal and agency. That is 3% of gross development values, right? Three percent into development value. Okay, this is also done, right? What else? So we have covered almost all, right? So we can calculate the residue for the development of building. How much the balance, right? Development of buildings. That is, this is the development value minus this is on the site cost. Totally we have to, and then we have developers profit, then we have legal and this one, right? So the balance 3.2 million is available to spend on this. Okay, and out of that we have building cost, building construction cost. And then professional fees, then finance charge. These are the usual items, right? So all these three together, we have this much. Okay. Now the question is, what is this determine the allowable building cost per meter square of gross floor area. So we need to work out the gross floor area, and this amount needs to be divided by this, right? So professional fees will take like 10% of 10%, right? And the finance charge for 1 year at 11%. Right? So if the building cost, let's say B, let's say capital B, so this will be like 10% into B, and then for that total is like 1.1, isn't it? B into 11% is the interest. For the total amount, we need to pay interest for 1 year. So we interest, what we do is, for the full amount, 1 year, full amount 1 year, or a full amount half period, or half amount 1 year, right? So I put the full amount, and here I put 0.5. Okay. Average concept we use for the calculating interest. So that, okay. Right. So now, so 1B, this minus. So all these three together, 3.29 million. So when you add this one, so B, 1.B, again minus 1.1B, this get cancel out. So basically, it's like 1.1B into, that is 1.11, no, 11% to the power half, 0.5, equal how much? 3,299,764 into 29. So calculate the B.
Excuse me, madam.
Yeah.
It can't be cancelled, the 1.1B, you know, to the 1.1B into 1 plus 11% in the to the power 0.5, no?
Yeah.
So that how can it 1.1B into 1?
Yes.
Cancel,
Yeah. Yeah, there is a mistake. Yeah.
Power is different, no?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's actually 1.1 to the power B. This minus 1, eh? Yeah. Yeah. So it will be -1 is how much? The whole thing. Divide by 1.1.
Madam, excuse me.
Sorry, wait a minute. No, not divide. Yeah. So B will be. I just do that. Ready,
It should be -1B, no, madam, not -1. No?
Madam,
Oh, where
residual development of building, that is 3.299 equals to B plus.
Yeah.
Then the professional fee plus
Yes.
financial charges. Then
Yes.
B plus and you need to add 1B, madam. There.
Yeah. Wait a minute. හරි නේද කලින් හදපු එක. මේක 1.1b තමයි මේක into 1 plus I to the power n minus 1 point. So that is finance charge, right? And finance charge plus this. එතකොට මේ දෙක cancel වෙලා මේ ටිකනේ ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ.
That B cancel also, then there is no -1 then, madam.
Yeah, there is no -1. උගලනේ දාන්න කිව්වේ. It should be like this. Because we add these three. So when you add these three, what is remaining is only this component. Because here also 1.1b is coming. Here minus 1.1b. ඒක තමයි හරියට කරේ නේද? කලින්.
Right, madam. This is all right, madam.
Yeah. So we have to basically 1 minus 1 එක නෑ. ඒක තමයි answer එක වැරදි. So 1.1 to the power 5 into 1.1. Yeah, that the whole thing divide by that. So it should be this divide by this. Yeah, 2 point some million. That's correct. So now it's per meter squared is the question. So we need to calculate the gross flow area. So we have net flow area of 500 for shops and 900 for the office. So altogether 1400. That is net flow area. And there is a question that there is a information that circulation area will amount to about 10% of the total flow area. Right? So gross flow area is net flow area plus circulation. Circulation is 10% of GFA. Equal. All right, gross flow area. Okay. This is the equation. Can you calculate the gross flow area rate?
Madam, what does that circulation mean there, madam?
Yeah, circulation space. So not the usable flow area. Part of the gross flow area is not usable area, not used for the functional area, not considered for the functional area, right? So things like corridors and staircase areas, right? Those things are necessary to have circulation space in order to perform the function. But it's not considered in the functional area, right? For commercial spaces, when you get the rental, it's always for the net flow area, right? But when it comes to construction cost, it's always for the gross flow area, right?
Okay, madam. Thank you.
So when you calculate the cost, you need to calculate for the total gross flow area. When you calculate the income, it's for the net flow area, right? So here we are calculating the per unit cost. So therefore, we need to calculate the GFA. So net flow area, we know 1,400, 900 plus 500. So this comes here, 90% of the GFA is equal to 1,400, right? So therefore, GFA this is the gross flow area. Okay. So cost per GFA is the question. What is the allowable that? So we got this one. That's for the total this. So per GFA is 1,800 something. Okay. Okay. See whether you can understand. Give me a second. My power is going.
Um, Madam, where is the stated that the contract where the profit 12% in the problem?
Right. Can you do this one? Take down this and do at least this one. Almost
Madam,
in,
excuse me. Where
yeah.
in the previous problem where it was stated that the 12% of the profit, the contractor profit, the
It's
11%
given.
or 12%?
It's given 12%. I highlighted now in the Excel.
Mhm.
See, I put it in red. 11% is finance and 12% is
No, it's okay, madam. Perfect. Yeah, it's okay.
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 So do this one. Are you doing? Done? Can I have the GDV? Four sums. We have done 4 different examples. And all calculating GDV same, right? You should give the answer. I'm not going to do. At least one person should give the correct answer. නැත්තම් නම් වැඩක් නැහැ. Can I have the GDV, please?
Madam,
Yes.
can you explain this all risk yield?
Yeah, that is kind of rate of return, right? That is the
Rate.
return, no? Return against all risk, right? So covering all risk, this is the return we should get, 6.5%.
Basically, that is the expected rate of return.
Exactly, yes.
Right. In other cases, what we took as RR, here it is the same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
ROR, yeah.
ROR, yeah, madam.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam. Madam, excuse me.
Yeah.
Void period means after construction, there will be a
Yes.
6 months period.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Where there is no income.
Okay.
In other sums, it was like silence whether there was a void period or not. So in this case, it's specifically given that 6 months after the completion, the property was kind of not generating any income. In the sense, ideally, we need to consider that 6 months also for the finance charge. Done. Nobody has supplied the answer in the chat yet. Huh? I'm sure I'll give you a very tough question in the exam. Huh? I'll give you a hard time for you all in the exam. Yeah. It's not copying. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Can you see the screen?
Yes, madam.
Did you calculate the GDV?
No, madam.
Right. The fourth question. Fourth, fifth, or the third, fourth. 3 times we calculated the GDP now. This is the 4th time I'm asking you people to do it. Huh? Why? What is the issue in calculating the GDP? What concept? Otherwise, you can do this. There is no any complex. Even if I return this question again in the exam, huh? I wonder whether what is the percentage of you all will get through this? Huh? Why is that? You all are big people, no? Messy, no? This is so seeing a lot of practical things, isn't it? So here I'm just talking about a very simple, straightforward concept, which is just dealing with few cost items and one income item. Simple mathematics equation we are dealing with, isn't it? I don't know what makes you all tough. අඩු ගන්න එක කියන්නවත් බෑනේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ. නේද? At least to say that you don't have the guts, no, that is a pity. Huh? That's so sad, actually, isn't it? So here it's given, the inputs are given, basically the data, gross area of offices. Gross area is 1,000, and it says gross to net ratio is 90%. Means net floor area is 90%, gross floor area is 100%. Gross to net is 90%. So sometimes it's called the building efficiency. Ratio is 90%. Means 90% is used. That's what it means, right? Only 10% is not usable. So it's basically the net floor area is 900,000. 900 meter square meter, yes, meter square. So the rent for offices per square meter is 475. Then calculation of GDP. Annual rental. So I said it's for the always for the net flow area. $900 into 475, right? Per square. Yes. And then the ARY, all risk yield, is 6.5%. So we can calculate the year's purchase as 1 over so gross development value is net annual income into year's purchase. Okay. What is the difficulties in finding this, sir? Huh? What is the issue in calculating the GDP? Then, so we have done with this. And the next one is cost of finance rate is given. Annual rate is 12%. Quarterly rate is 3%. So construction cost per square meter is this one. So what is the question actually? Land is given profit calculation. Okay. Construction cost is per square meter, that one. So how much gross floor area is 1,000. 1,750. Construction period is 18 months and then the void period is 6 months. Professional fees is so we need not to calculate separately, so we can add all of them together. So 6, 2, 3. Unless we don't take the time, say for example in the construction project, actually architects will involved in different stage than engineers and quantity surveyors, right? So therefore the payment needs to be settled at different time periods, right? So if you are considering the time value, we need to know the separate cost and the separate timing. Here, of course, we'll assume that all of them at the same time. So we can simply add all their percentage. So 11%. Okay. Right. So then we have to calculate the finance charge on construction cost. Yeah. So either half full period or full half period. Okay. So we'll go for full half period. So this is the full amount. Right. So up to when we can construction period is 18 months. So the half period is 12%. Half period is then 9 months. Another 6 months is there. So altogether 15 months we need this. So 15 months mean it is 1.25 years if you put 12%. If you put 3%, you can put 15 months mean 5 quarters, isn't it? Yeah. So, so 1 quarter plus half quarter, 1.25. Okay. Minus this amount. Oh, this one. Total. Oh, 30. 12%. right? So total is this amount plus this. Okay, so that is about construction cost. So we should have calculated the site cost before that. Site cost. So it is 2.5 million, and then there is another, it's given cost of land purchase, that is 7.5%. Okay, then we have to, yeah, so that, and then um, finance charge. That is for the entire period. At time zero beginning, we purchase the land, and then we'll set off only after the entire period, right? So that is 18 months plus the void period also 24 months. So it's altogether 2 years, right? 1 plus 12% to the power 2 minus this. Right. So then the total of that is this plus this. Okay. So that's one. That is for the site, and this is for this, and this is GDV. Right. So what else we have? Oh, there is this charge. Agents or sales or whatever. That is 3% of the GDP. Simple mathematics, right? Right. So what is the question? What is the question? Hmm? What is the question? What should we find?
The
Hmm?
profit, madam.
Yes. How do we find that? So GDP minus all the cost, isn't it? This is GDP minus all the cost. So this is construction cost, one item, and then site cost or land cost and related another item, and then we have this. So this is the profit. What is the issue for people in deriving this? Simple mathematics තියෙන්නේ නේද? මොකක් හරි තියෙනවද difficulty? Huh? Right. So either you have to calculate, you will have to calculate developer's profit, or else land cost, or the building cost, isn't it? Those are the three main variables. Three main items, isn't it? Developer's profit, land cost, or GDP. Right. So, so we have actually done all this with the residual approach, actually. Without considering the time value. Right? So, but in actual case, different items are happening at different times. Say, imagine a large scale development, right? So that lasts for about 3 years, 5 years, right? So even if you take 2 years, it is a substantial time. Like country like us, within that 2 years, things would change drastically, right? So construction cost, land prices, expected returns, isn't it? All would change drastically. So therefore, even for 2 years, it is important we take the time effect into the appraisal. Okay, so therefore, we should say, for example, this profit, the profit that we calculated, it is actually coming in 2 years. Say if development period is from now, it's 2 years, right? We are expecting to complete and get the return. Okay. So now this is 2 years thing. Say for example, this and this are maybe within first few months, first maximum, let's say 3 months, isn't it? Because now we are trying to do the appraisal after purchasing or at the time of purchasing the land, right? So the rest all will take place after purchasing the land, right? So if you are not sure about purchasing the land, we will not do anything, right? So once it is bought only, we will do the rest of the activity. But anyway, we have the appraisal at the before purchasing the land, right? After purchasing the land, no point in doing that. Can do, but nothing wrong in that one, at least. So you decided, say, for example, the land price. Also, when you do the appraisal, we have to take into account that as well. So we have spent some money on that, right? So therefore, you can do the appraisal before the development to decide what is the most feasible investment. Say, for example, the third example, we dealt with 2 example, a factory building and a office building or something, right? So like that, for a given land, there can be alternative investment, right? So we need to work out that, right? Even if you're not working in the construction field, even in your field also, whatever the development project, say IT project, there's an IT development project, right, in the IT field. So for that also, You have to identify A to Z, the cost, also the returns, right? So there can be one-off return or else lifelong return, right? So we need to take and considering the entire life of the project, we have to work out its feasibility, right? Economic feasibility. So means all cost needs to be compared against the return to see whether it's a economically viable project, right? So part of the project management, it is we do this appraisal, right? Otherwise, financially, if we don't consider the economic viability, we actually failed in project management. So we are not talking about project management only for construction project. It's construction management, right? So project management is a complete comprehensive term. So it covers the entire project. When you say entire project, again, it's not just the design and construction. It's entirely, these days, it's very important we consider the entire life cycle, right? Because the operational life is much more higher than the construction and design. So therefore, when you say project management, it's not, of course, the traditionally it is limited to that, but then with the development, so it is the overall. So it is the operational life, including the operational life project management. Okay. So therefore, operational life, there can be lots of things because the period is huge. So for the less large scale development, so therefore, it is important we undertake this kind of appraisal for that kind of a massive development, which is the development period itself significant or substantial, as well as the operational life also huge, right? So therefore, we can't just simply get on with the investment without doing the proper viability assessment at the beginning of the development, right? But when we do, it's important that we take into account the time. Okay, so in this case, simply see this 2.5 million or 1.187. So this total, and these are at two different times. Are they equal? So when we take this 770 to add it with this one, add it or subtract from that one, or compare, we need to adjust it, no? So ideally speaking, this is a profit after 2 years. And what is its value now? So we need to discount it. Right? What is the cost of capital? So, so if we go for the borrowed capital, it will be so how much is it? 12%. So actually, its true value today is, to compare with this side cost, it is 687, 762. It's not 770, isn't it? So, but in this residual approach, we need not to, or we don't bother about the time, right? So there is another approach called discounting cash flow approach, right? So in that, we actually take their actual timing, okay, and get everything to a timeline of say 0. And at time 0, we decide its viability. Okay. So we'll see how we can deal with that. So that's another appraisal technique. The same thing, this same sum, we can do it for using the discounted cash flow approach. Again, see construction, say, that's what I said here, the use of this is, say, for example, if we say 2 years is the time period, and let's say we're starting in January 2024, right? Jan 2024 construction, right? So for that, now we are doing our pre-development, right? So from this Jan 2024 to it's 18 months, right? So professionals, architects, how long they are going to be in the project? How many months? Maybe first 6 months, right? So if you're starting the design by then, they will be there. Engineers, they may be at a different time period. They can be overlapping also at the same time of architect period. Engineer also can be there, but their service can be extended, right? And the quantity surveyors, again, they may not be involved at the same time as architect get employed. Once the architect complete his part only, we might need to hire a quantity surveyor, right? So their charges will be for a different period, right? So get the design and go to QS part, right? So there may be different time periods. So say, for example, this architect may be June 24, right? And the engineers maybe they might come around March 24 to, let's say, if we take them for 3 months, again March, April, May. So end of May 24, right? QSS may be only starting by, of course, if we invite them in the middle of the design stage, they might come somewhere at March 24 to, they might prolong even after architect complete. So let's say up to August 2024, something like this, right? So therefore their particular amount, so we need to take, say, this into 6%, okay? And that 105,000 we need to pay throughout the 6 months. So maybe 6 equal installment, or else there is an upward payment like down payment of something, or 30% advance, let's say. So for the first month, we pay like 25% of that. I'm just saying that arbitrary, so that may be the practice. Where is it? See, 16 into 25%. Not in the same format. Yeah. So that. And then the balance may be equally during rest of the period, right? So therefore, if we take number of months, like 6 months, for the rest of the 5 months, the rest can be equally divided, and you will be paying architects accordingly. So therefore, for this amount, we need to calculate rental or the interest for a certain number of months, and the remaining one may be a shorter period than this one, because that we need subsequently, not everything to be borrowed at the same point in time. Isn't it? And similarly, construction cost also, that 1.75 million, we will be making maybe like 4 installments throughout this 18 months, isn't it? Right? So not as half what we did in this residual approach. Residual approach, it's an average approach. So we just go by the average concept, right? Whereas in the practical case, we need to go by the actual timing of cash inflows and the outflows. And then we treat them for the time value for money. Okay. All right. So we can do the same thing for using the discounted cash flow approach. Okay. You people, I'm worried like you people are even to get this average concept struggling, and how would you tackle that discounted cash flow approach? It's little complicated than this, but that is the one most practical, right? Right. Do you have any question on this? The residual approach? Any question anyone is having?
Madam, excuse me.
Yes. Tell me.
Madam, this is issue. I don't know. It's personally I am having
Okay.
this.
No issue.
When we calculating financial charges,
Yes.
we take total amount and the half of the period.
Yeah.
And other component is the calculation of compound interest.
Yes.
If you have time or time permits to you, can you do one example using this compound interest calculation?
Okay.
And not now, even tomorrow.
I have no issue in doing it now or tomorrow. Yeah, I'll just explain with this example that we did, no? That's okay with you, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So
Uh,
here you see this one, that this is the one. You mean why we are compound interest is simple. Say for example, you have 100.
Yes, madam.
I think we had that in the slide, maybe somewhere. NPV method. Sorry, haven't I shared the screen? Yeah. Here the compound interest formula. Okay, I don't have that example. The simple example. Let me give me a second. Right. Can you see this?
Yes.
Right. You see, 1,000 invested today at the rate of 10% per annum for 3 years. Calculate the amount in 3 years' time. Okay. So 1,000 and the 10% interest. Okay. 100. So after 1 year, it becomes 1,100. Okay. Then for the next year, that 1,100 is earning a interest. Okay. So it's 10%, 110, right? So at the end of 2 years, it is 1,000 plus actually earlier 100 rupees rental interest for this year 110. So it's altogether we have end of 2 years 1,210. And then for the next year, third year, beginning, the capital is actually compounded, right? So it becomes 1,200. The interest is earning an interest here. If you put like 1,000, it's always 100, 100 now. Now we get more. Why? This 100 interest is also earning an interest. That 100 is interest is 10%, 10 rupees, right? So then 110. So that it becomes 1,210. And then 1,210, that turns this is actually having three components, isn't it? 1,000 plus 110 plus 100. So that 100 is accumulated 2 years interest and the 110 1 year interest, right? So altogether it becomes 1,210. And then this total is going to get a 10% interest. So it is 121. So at the end of 3 years, how much we have is 1,331, right? Isn't it? If it is not compound interest, how much will be this one? Every year it's 100, 100. So 3 years, 100. So it's 1,300, isn't it? And here it is 1,331. Correct?
Right, madam.
So what is the formula? So this is for 3 years, we can keep doing manually like this. But for 10 years, 50 years, so the general formula is what? The future value, that is after 3 years, right? That is its initial value, the present value, into 1 plus r to the power n, right? So 3 years, r is 10%, and how much? 1,000. So 1,000 into 1 plus 10% to the power 3. So that straight away give you the answer as 1,331. Okay. Now this one, so there It is actually the total amount, including the principal amount. In that sum, we had to calculate only the interest. So I remove the principal amount. So from this present value, I remove 1000. So how much the interest? 331 for 3 years, isn't it?
Right. Right.
So that is the one I did it there. Now see this one. What is that? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
Okay, here. So 12% and 2 years. So the amount is how much? 2,687,000. From that, I'm again deducting this one because I need only the principal amount. So without that, I can just only the interest amount, right? So just to show the interest separately only, I'm just removing that one. Or else simply what I can do is now I calculate the interest separate and adding with this one. Or else another way is like, so take this amount. No, take this formula, copy and put it here. What I'm going to do is, so this one, I put this one, right? And then I'm not going to deduct anything. See, that amount straight away coming, isn't it? Just to calculate the finance charge separately only, I did that. I deducted this principal amount. The total value is actually whatever the principal amount, that is 2.68 million into the interest, compound interest, 1 plus r to the power n. Hope it's clear, right?
Yes, madam, it is clear now.
Like that, if others have any question, please ask. So then you become clear. It's anyway for your benefit, no? Nothing to be shy or. Right, so we'll do the, what do you call this, discounted cash flow approach for this same sum tomorrow. Okay? And to show you what is the different in the answer. Here we did not consider any time value. So all the expenses, outflows and inflows, we just take it as without their respective timing, right? But we need to adjust it for the timing, right? So that is done in the discounting cash flow approach. So that is the most practical way of dealing, right? Inflation is there, and then this 1,000, like it's the cost of capital is there, right? So it earns the interest. So therefore, the money value is not remain same, right? So therefore, we need to do the appropriate adjustment. So 1,000 become 1,331 after 3 years, or after 3 years, if it is 1,301, what is it? Current value is 1,000. Okay. Hope it's all right. Okay. So we'll meet up tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Okay. Hope
Good
you
night,
will be
Okay,
up.
madam.
Yeah. Tell your colleagues to join, right? So I don't know, because it's very hard for us to mark your exam papers. You hardly write anything, so to give marks. right? So main reason is you don't attend the lectures because it is, if you attend, it's just the same thing that we discussed. We put it in the exam questions. Okay. Yeah. So it's just for some time, no? Maybe this is the last week and then you have your break and then you do the exam. So you are almost done with your third part of the MSc. So if you continue to do research and get the MSc, so it's just a little more to go. Otherwise, you're done with the main part of it, isn't it? Right? Okay, then I'll leave you guys here.
Madam, excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
If we can, if we have the question similar to this, will be easier to interpret, madam.
Yeah, but that's the way I give, no?
Yes, madam. It's very easy to interpret rather than the descriptive type of question.
Yeah.
It is very easy to understand us.
Yeah. Yeah, some are not very much like to go with these numbers. So therefore the papers are always a kind of a mix of those. Yeah. So even if you have seen with the managerial economics, I try to put some people like you, if you do any mistake here, a lot of sometimes you are at disadvantage, right? So therefore the writing descriptive type of question also there so that you can sort of balance.
Okay, madam. No,
I don't give purely this the sum based question. So like 50-50 percentage, okay? Or at least a small descriptive part just to recall your theoretical background with respect to that particular subject focus and then go on to see its application. Right? So that is how generally the questions are set. Okay.
okay, madam. That is easier to us, I think.
Yeah. Okay then. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, madam.